Hey, Shalom, Michelle. Let's start as always by giving all praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Waha, Kadash, Rakah. That will learn supposed to GMS and honesty brothers doing the work in truth, war, sincerity. In the last video I did, spoke about, how in the old, in the new, books called the New Testament, the Lord kept the law, right? And the law was kept, and there were several instances showing that the law was kept. I was just watching Apostle Tahar's video on basically being careful on what you say. He's basically talking about how you got guys who are saying, look, man, what is it? You got to keep the law, but then, you can't keep Leviticus 20 and 13. You're supposed to, you see two guys going at it, man. You're supposed to do that, give them the judgment according to the law, but of course you cannot do that, right? For instance, if you got the law says if you're what is it like if you're a priest and you basically your daughter's a whore, she should be burnt with fire, right? That's in the law, the scriptures. You do that because the amount of pastors' daughters that are just straight up harlots and whores, right? They ain't getting burnt with fire. Why? Because it ain't expedient. In fact, let me find that. Scriptures talk about all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient, right? It says, well, it looks like it says it twice. It says 1 Corinthians 6 and 12. It says, all things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient, right? Because, like I said, I gave you that example. That's lawful. That's in the law. If you did that, technically speaking, according to our law, that ain't what you call it? That's not wise. You don't be doing that. You just get thrown in a slammer, and then guess what? You can't do the work, right? You ain't supposed to be doing that, man. Not on this time, right? What was that? Matthew's the Lord says, harmless as doves. Was it Matthew 10? Right. It says Matthew 10:16. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Right, we're supposed to be wise in our maneuvers and everything that we do. Right, we ain't supposed to be trying to catch a case for no damn reason, right? Because this isn't our kingdom, this isn't our rest. And if you was trying to keep the law to the best of your ability, man, you just be on the, you just have to be killing a whole load of people, adulterers. The scriptures talk about, well, you got to be having your own farm, so you can, so when the Passover comes, you can tell which where the lamb was, whether it was a lamb with blemish or not, right? You're gonna have to make sure that's a male lamb, all of that stuff, right? So basically the point that the apostle was making is, just to make it clear to clarify statements that you make, right? So there's, what I'm trying to clarify here in short is basically, yeah, the law was kept, right? And you're supposed to keep the law to the best of your ability. However, right, you can't keep the law in full here. That's just not possible. Look at your clothes, right? Law says you ain't supposed to mix fabrics, man. You ain't supposed to, but your clothes are cotton and polyester and this, that, and the other, right? Your shoes are rubber, cotton, a whole array of different things, right? Your jeans are this, that, and the other. It looks based. I mean, like jackets are usually the worst one. They're usually mingled with all manner of stuff, right? But it says Judges 5:11 says, they that are delivered from the noise of the arches in the place of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord of Yahweh, even to the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates, right? So they shall rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh, right? So you're gonna do what you can do, which is why we rehearse the Sabbaths, we rehearse, the biblical high holy days, right? We do our best to keep the Lord that we can, but some things, you just gotta do, like I said, I mentioned your clothes, right? You know, we ain't got the means or the funds to be going out, you know, having our own factories, making sure, you know, that our clothes are, you know, on point. You might say, well, you know, you get a woman to do that, and your woman bucks that she leaves, then who's going to be doing it for you? Right? So, like I said, it's all about using wisdom, right? You know, and you know that's why it's good to be, you know, around, around brothers, man, older brothers, right? Because you can see how they maneuver, because they're more seasoned in this thing. Because when we all come in, we're all over righteous, man. You know, we've all done some super over righteous shit when we first come in. You know, you know, some of the story brothers, you know, will say how, you know, on the Sabbath, you know, they wouldn't eat because you know, there's like I can't buy food. You know, I can't do this, that, and the other. You know, so they just didn't eat, right? You know, which you know, if you want to go buy some food, man. You know, what else? You have also, you know, one of the brothers was like, you know, he was like, he was you if camp was on on Sabbath, on the Shabbat rather, you know, he would walk to from his home to camp, man. Right? They were saying that's just being over righteous, right? Scriptures talk about being not over righteous, right? Being not righteous over much. Right? It says Ecclesiastes 7:16 says, "Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself?" Right? You'll be trying to, you know, imagine each time the Sabbath falls on the Saturday, you're like, oh man, no shit, now I gotta walk to camp. You know, and you're gonna be like, man, and then I gotta walk back from camp. And you're thinking, man, fuck this, man. That's what will happen, right? Because it's not overright. And obviously, you know, my brother's so this was a while back, and you know, a while back, and it's like, yo, but what you doing, man? You know, we all laugh about it now, but I was giving you examples of basically, you know, you got to keep the law to the best of your ability, but we just can't keep it as well as we can. We also got to use wisdom, and you know, in the switches I brought out in the video that I did, right? Oh, he was speaking about how you know, he had Yahweh Shai, and, you know, they picked corn. They picked corn on the Sabbath, right? You know, they went got some food, and in the end they tried what do you call it? Tried cursing out the Lord for that, man. And the Lord gave the example of King David, you know, how they ate the shewbread. He also gave the example about how the priests, you know, they basically break the Sabbath to keep you know, one of their duties. I forgot. Basically, they got a light of fire. I forgot what it is off the top of my head. And what else? I also gave the example of also what you're telling me, if you got a child who's 8 days on a son who's 8 days on the Sabbath, that you're not going to circumcise it, right? So like I said, wisdom, right? Ephesians 2:8 says, "For by grace are ye saved through faith," because ultimately that's how we're saved, right? We're saved by grace, right? So you know you can, you know, but the thing is, we got to do our best to keep the law, right? Because if you're trying to be a man of the Lord, you're gonna, you know, just strive for that anyway, right? You're gonna, you know, you're gonna see certain things, you know, and then you're just gonna cuss like, what the fuck is this shit, man? You ain't gonna give in to your lusts, right? It says, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of the Most High, not of works, lest any man should boast. Yeah, so you get guys obviously saying, yeah, you know, IUIC for instance, oh, yeah, you know, we keep the law, but we'll have lineups, you know. We just finished with Romans 3:31 wants to do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we established the law. Right, so, you know, our law was saved by grace, right? Do we then not keep the law? No. We establish the law. We do our best to keep it in the places that we can. Right? So this is yeah, so like I said, and a good place to start is, you know, just observing, you know, what the apostles, man, they'll mention certain things, you know, other brothers, you know, of you know, reputable standards, you know, when they speak, they'll, you know, say certain things, and you be like, oh, okay, that means it's okay to do X, Y, and Z. You know, it was when the apostle Paul spoke about, hey man, it was Shabbat, you know, he went about, bought himself, you know, some pizza or something. I was like, okay, so, you know, so it's alright to go and buy some pizza on the Sabbath. You know, so like I said, it's all experience. Things come with time. When you first come, you're gonna be hella righteous. But like I said, I just had to do that because, the apostle made a statement of, if you say something, you always got to be careful about how you say it, because some man will take it and run away with it, man. Some man would have heard me say, they kept the law, you know, and then I'll be like, oh, shit, now I've got to keep, try to keep everything in the law. I remember when I was back, I remember when I was first coming in, man, I told one of the guys that was around, right, and I was like, yeah, man, you've got to keep the law in that. And then a couple of weeks later, he came back to me and was like, yo, man, where do I buy lamb from? Basically saying, how do I sacrifice? Right? I was talking about how he wanted to go get, an animal to sacrifice with, for his sins and that. And I was like, look, man. But that was from not being explaining as well. The law switches also talk about, especially got a man in the truth. You start them off slow, right? What was it? Thing strangle with blood. Oh, right. It says Acts 15 and 20. Um, where does it start? Verse 19 says, wherefore my sentence is that we trouble them not, which from among the Gentiles are turned to the Most High, but that we write unto them. It's Acts 15 and 19, but now in verse 20 says, but that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood. Alright? So basically it says start them off slow, man. You can't just cast a heavy burden upon them because they'll just bug out. A guy can't, come in the truth on Monday and then you're expecting him to be keeping the entire law by Tuesday. That's just not gonna happen. A guy will bug out. Like I said, you're gonna have wisdom, and that wisdom comes with the longer that you are in this truth. So, I mean, I've been blabbing on for a while, but yeah, like I said, I just have to do that. So those all you're edified. Shalom.